Life ain't never been a luxury. You gotta get your money on every day of the week. You gotta get your paper. You gotta get your paper. Life ain't never been a luxury. You gotta get your money on every day of the week. You gotta get your paper. You gotta get your paper.
Welcome to another segment of What Millionaires Spend Their Money On. We are here with Gino Blafori, founder and president of Intero Real Estate. More than 23 years of experience in the business, began selling real estate in 1984. In 2002, formed Intero Real Estate Services, has 60 offices serving in Arizona, California, Hawaii, Texas, and Nevada. Real estate guru, Gino Blafori.
Good. Okay.
First question. How did you first get started in real estate back in 1984?
Okay. Probably the way a lot of people get started in real estate, almost by accident. All right. Had graduated from college, was working at a company, and it was actually I was working at a golf course, and a developer bought the golf course. Had the opportunity to work for the developer, and they built homes and sold homes, saw the homes being sold, went and got a real estate license, and just kind of happened into real estate.
Having started in 1984, you have been able to witness firsthand the market's ups and downs. Where do you see today's market going?
Here's my thought there. See if you ever can find one person that wishes that they did not own more real estate, okay, or did not wish they purchased more real estate, or had a property that they sold that they wish they didn't have. That's a good way for you to kind of like judge on yourself, because I wouldn't worry, because over the long term, it will go up. We have a little saying: you don't wait to buy real estate, you buy real estate and wait.
Leadership is key to any company. Obviously, Intero has a great leader in you. What and how did you develop such exceptional leadership skills?
Well, first off, thank you for the comment, okay? And the key word there was develop. I am a big student of leadership. And I've copied so many different leaders, so many books I've read on leadership. To name a few great authors, Jack Welch, Peter Drucker. I've read Moses on leadership. I've read Lincoln on leadership. Maxwell's all his leadership books. As a matter of fact, you'll find this kind of interesting, because I think very few people will do it. But if you go to a Starbucks in Sunnyvale at 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning, you will see me in there with at least 3 others, and we're studying leadership. Almost as fanatically as someone might study the Bible. I have a leadership course that I conduct, that I'm part of, every Saturday morning at 6 a.m. because everybody else is sleeping, and that's where you're pretty committed. So
there is a high turnover ratio as far as real estate agents are concerned. What do you tell an agent that's struggling and thinking about going back to a salary job?
So that's a great question there. And first, they have to determine if real estate, if they can do what it takes to be in real estate. But I have a cute thing that I actually do. There's a clip from a movie called Dodgeball. All right? And when I get an agent that comes in and they really think about quitting, I will play that clip. And I don't know if you saw the movie Dodgeball, but it's the guy's there in the bar. He's just quit the dodgeball team. And Lance Armstrong walks in. And Lance Armstrong goes, "Oh, Peter Latour, what a great guy. I wanted to meet you." And he says, "Man, it's getting a little late. You probably need to get dressed and get out there." And Peter Latour says, "Well, I quit, And Lance Armstrong says this, and it's a great message. He says, "I once thought about quitting when I was diagnosed with lung and brain and testicular cancer all at the same time. But with the love and support of my family, I was able to cure myself and go on and win 7 Tour de France's," right? And so kind of like show them where they're doing something very hard, somebody else doing something very hard, and they quit. I kept a picture of Jeff Esposito's son, who was flying a helicopter in Iraq, where the war, right, in the war, and I know he makes less than our receptionist. Okay? So I just get reminded by things like that. That's
Inspiration and motivation is a mission of our magazine for our readers. Can you tell us who or what inspires and motivates you?
Yeah, I get, well, life inspires me, okay? But I've had a lot of great role models in my career, people that I've kind of like studied that have inspired me, like Og Mandino. I don't know if you're familiar with Og Mandino, or the greatest salesman in the world. But what really inspires me is what I call something I look at almost every single day, and it's my dream book. And in that dream book are places I'd want to go, things I want to have, things I want to do. And it doesn't have to only be materialistic. I think your magazine's The Millionaire.
Where millionaires spend their money.
Where millionaires spend their money, yeah. It doesn't totally have to be materialistic, but it does, I mean, because it can be, I want to have a better relationship with my daughter or my child, or, you know, whatever there. But that really inspires me, having goals, having a plan, you know, having that right mindset. I'm kind of like, I believe I'm very self-motivated.
Well, this is a question I was going to ask you towards the end of this interview, but I may as well ask you this now since you're on that page.
Sure.
What is it that you want that money can't buy?
There's nothing that I really want that money can buy, you know? So money's kind of like, you know, actually, if I'm going to elaborate a little bit. They survey people all the time on happiness. There's a book I was reading on happiness. One of the ones Tom Ferry probably gave you that one too, Andy. In any case, and you know, there's almost no correlation between money and happiness. You know, I would like, you know, in a perfect world, I would attract all the wonderful things into my life simply through like the law of attraction. And by doing that, you know, I need to make a conscious effort of really thinking of what I'm thankful for and then what I want to attract into my life. But, you know, certainly money can't buy you health, and it's so important, right? Okay?
Yeah.
Money can't buy you happiness, and it's so important. Money can't buy you a good relationship with your family, and that's so important, right? You know, money, what you can do with money is you can give it to the poor, you can help people with it.
What advice you like to share with someone who has big dreams, but they're not pursuing them?
You know, I think to have a worthwhile life, okay, you almost have to have worthwhile work, because we spend so much time at work. So what I would do was I would tell that person to really take some time and figure out what they want. You know, create their own dream book. You know, places they want to go, things they want to do, things they want to have, because typically that will inspire. They can only inspire themselves. You know, I would tell them this: work harder on yourself than you do on your job. You know, try to improve yourself, because it's really, when you set a goal, it's not so much about you attaining that goal, but it's on becoming the person that you need to be to get that goal, right? It's kind of like, what is the goal going to make of you to get there? I want a goal, if you have a goal to earn $100 million, well, wow, who do I have to be to earn that $100 million?
Last but not least, what charities are you affiliated with?
Well, we're affiliated as a company. We're the Intero Foundation. One of the values of Intero is our value number 4 is commitment. And pretty much the thought was like this: as realtors, because we earn our living by serving our community, it was fundamental that when we created Intero, we figured out a way to give back to the community. And we do that through the Intero Foundation. So, you know, some of my favorite ones would be, we help children in need, right? That's what we're mainly do. Some of my favorite ones would be diabetes, because my dad has type 2 diabetes. I chaired at one time the American Heart Association for Silicon Valley, so that one's special to me. I have a very good friend with 3 autistic kids, so that's a favorite charity of mine. I have another good friend, in fact, my college roommate was one of the oldest survivors of cystic fibrosis, which attacks kids, and so that's a favorite charity for me. But I could never pick out one, and I really do love how we at Intero are able to help the very small, local. We give them $2,000, we give them $5,000, maybe up to $15,000, and it makes a gigantic impact on them. So my favorite charity, I guess, is really Children in Need.
Well, thank you for taking the time out to talk to me.
Thank you.
Life ain't never been a luxury. You gotta get your money on every day of the week. You gotta get your paper. You gotta get your paper. Life ain't never been a luxury. You gotta get your money on every day of the week. You gotta get your paper. You gotta get your paper.